Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Two Foot Tackle podcast, the first podcast of the new year. Happy 2024. I say that confused in a sense because it's still kind of the 29th of December 2023 at the time of recording. But of course, because both Christmas and New Year's fall on Mondays this year, I had decided I'm not going to spend my holidays recording, unfortunately. So I thought let's pre-record it and record it out and put it out at normal time. So yes, it's the 29th of December. It is the last podcast of the year recording, first podcast of the year, of the next year uploading. Merry Christmas. I already said that last episode because that was released after the 25th. But I didn't have my Christmas. Christmas hasn't happened the last time I recorded, but it did when it was uploaded. Confusing. But once again, Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas. My Christmas day was fucking stressful, as is every year, just running around here, there, and everywhere. But it's good. See the family, eat some good food, have some drinks, and then wake up the next day hungover. That's how it's kind of gone over the last couple of years, which, you know what, I won't change for the world. I'm feeling slightly under the weather, unfortunately, so I don't know how long this podcast will go for. I don't think it'll go for long. Just a little bit of a sore throat. It's not COVID, which is good, but yeah, just a little bit under the weather, which is a little bit unfortunate. But I hope everyone is well regardless. I hope you all had a fantastic New Year's celebrations. If you went out, if you got absolutely shit-faced, which I think I'm planning on doing, I don't quite know, or if you just stayed in, I hope you all had a fantastic New Year's, fantastic holiday period. For those in Australia, I hope you were enjoying the summer, living it up. For those in Melbourne, I am in solace with you in the fact that there is no sun. A little bit of sun out today, which is always good. But yeah, obviously those in the other part of the world, the UK, where predominantly the listeners come from, hope you're enjoying your winter. Hope it doesn't get too cold. Hope it doesn't snow too hard. Unless you want the snow, then there you go. But yeah, this podcast will be a little bit more free-flowing. I don't really have a run sheet. I'm just going to sit here and talk about a couple of things that are on my mind about football, about this pod, about the year, etc. We'll touch on some games and some things that have happened in the meantime between the last time I recorded and now, which of course I will miss all of the upcoming games. So Chelsea play Luton. I don't know what's going on in that game. Chelsea play Luton. I don't know what's going on in that game. Victory play Adelaide United tomorrow night, which I don't know what's happened in that game. Forest play United. Tottenham play Bournemouth. Fulham play Arsenal. And Liverpool play Newcastle. I don't know what's happened in any of those games. Those games will have yet to have happened. However, we do have a couple of days of football that we can speak about. Chelsea lost on Christmas Day, which was just terrific. What a start to the festive period. We'll touch on those as well a little bit later on. But yes, any admin to get out of the way? Yeah, so this episode will is obviously pre-recorded. So yeah, like I said, don't know what's happened in those games. I'll be touching on just some timeless stuff, some predictions, some reflections on the year, both podcast-wise, football-wise, looking forward, reminiscing, and then we can start next podcast off well. Speaking of next podcast, so obviously, as you know, there is a winter break for a lot of the top 5 leagues. The only top 5 league that is not having a winter break is Italy. Serie A is continuing on as normal, but the French Bundesliga, the French Bundesliga, La Liga, and the Premier League are all having winter breaks. So I saw that as an opportunity to give myself a little bit of a summer break. So there will not be a podcast released next Monday or next Tuesday. There will be a week break, and then from the Tuesday after, it will be weekly, recorded on the Monday, back full swing of things. I think it's a good period that I can sit back, relax, not have to focus, and not have to worry and stress about this for a little bit. Enjoy the sun, get down to the beach, and just enjoy it. So just to recap, this is being recorded on the 29th to be released on the 2nd. There will be no podcast on the 9th, and then back on the 15th record, 16th upload. There you go. So just to connect that with the Premier League fixtures, the last Premier League fixture happens on the 3rd, West Ham vs Brighton, and then Saturday the 13th, Chelsea play Fulham. Saturday the 13th, Chelsea play Fulham, and then that Tuesday there'll be a podcast where unfortunately there's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. So not a lot of won't be a lot to speak about, but then they're scattered through the other games, the other days, and then we'll obviously speak about those when they do arise. So yeah, no podcast out next week. Podcast out here. There you go. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the 2 Foot Attack podcast as well. So for you don't miss any updates, and obviously Twitter as well. I'll be doing any last minute changes, updates, announcements, etc., etc. Instagram, TikTok as well. 2 Foot Attack podcast, and what else? And we've got what else do we have? All the audio platforms: 2 Foot Attack podcast on Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. There you go. All right. What are we going to speak about this episode? Now, first I wanted to do a little bit of like a overall year in review kind of thing about this pod, obviously, because initially this is this full calendar year in which I have done the podcast, which is pretty insane to think about. I sat here, obviously the first episode was actually recorded not in this studio, it was recorded at my dad's house, which I didn't even plan on releasing the video, but the video is out there. And then obviously I moved it here. I initially recorded off my laptop, then I initially recorded it off of this camera here, which is a Sony. What is it? A Sony CyberShot. I don't know the actual specs of this. DSC/HX90V for the camera nerds out there, which is a very, very handy little camera. I recorded off that, and then I decided to upgrade. Got a DSLR. I don't actually know what camera it is. It is a 40D Mark II, I think. Then, of course, got lights, got backgrounds, upgrading, started using OBS, changed up thumbnails, changed up patterns of run sheets, changed up a lot over the last 2 years. There's been a lot of evolution. There's been a lot of change, a lot of doubts, a lot of stress, a lot of frustration, but also a lot of joy because I get to sit here and speak about the best sport in the world for 45 minutes every week, and people listen for some reason. And you know what? Even if they don't, I just enjoy speaking about it. So this gives me a platform to speak about it. So yes, thank you all very much for the support over the last 2 years. It has been immense. Long may this continue. Of course, whether it's this exact podcast or in some format, I will try my hardest to speak about football on a public platform for as long as possible because I like doing it, and that is the main thing. So yeah, thank you all very much for the support over the last 2 years. It does mean more than the world. We've done some incredible things, spoke to some good people, spoke about some interesting stuff, some funny stuff, some deep stuff, some anger-inducing stuff, some excitement-inducing stuff. So yeah, very, very enjoyable last 2 years, and long may it continue in some form or another. The 2023 football in review. I thought it was a good year of football. I thought it was a fine year of football. Obviously we had City won the Champions League and the Prem. They completed their treble. No one remembers the second man who landed on the moon though. As United fans will continue to tell City supporters, which is great. Obviously with the FA Cup triumph, they won the FA Cup. They did win the FA Cup this year. Who did they beat in the FA Cup? Who did City beat in the FA Cup final? I've got not a Scooby. Was it Liverpool? No, it wasn't Liverpool, was it? They won the year before against us. Oh, how do I not remember this? I know they definitely won it. I don't know who they won it against though, which is interesting. Winners and finalists. Here we go. Can we find it? Can we find it? No. I don't know why this has been. I don't know why I've been stalling this for this long. History. Here we go. Let's scroll all the way down the Wikipedia page. I bet United 2-1. That's what it was. I can't remember that at all. What happened? They beat United 2-1. Oh yeah, didn't Gundogan score like really early, or am I imagining things? Yeah, he scored in the first minute. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Okay. I've clocked now. City won the treble. That's great. They made Inter in the final. Premier League was a little bit of a dud race at the end of it, but Arsenal did well to hold in for that as long. The A-League, technically the worst thing happened last year, but it kind of hit its lull, its worst period ever this year. It's reviving 25,000 at the Derby, which I should speak about. 25,000 at the Derby on the weekend, or on the previous weekend to when this is being recorded, was insane. Shame the game was poor. Shame the game was really poor, but I thought the atmosphere, 25k, North End buzzing, City supporters turned out, so give them credit for that. I thought it was good atmos. I'm going to the Adelaide versus Victory game tomorrow night, which hopefully brings out, probably not 25k, but if we can tick over 15,000, I think that's definitely more than doable. And Adelaide normally bring a pretty good away support. Obviously, Irakunda's last game in Australia, so if that's not an attraction to try and get down to the game and watch one of Australia's brightest young talents in his final ever game in the country, you'd think then I don't know what will be. As the voice getting a little bit nasally there, I apologise. But yeah, what else is there to speak about? Obviously, the Matildas, Jesus Christ, they set the world alight. They set the country alight. One of the more enjoyable, and I think that's actually probably as well a little bit of a personal talking point. I would be first to say that I didn't really know a lot about women's football. It was something I just didn't consume, not for any reason other than just in the same way I don't consume golf. I just didn't consume women's football as much as I probably should have. It's something that I'm honest about because I'm not ashamed of it, but it's just something that it is. And I realised, okay, the Matildas, the Women's World Cup's happening. I should probably start to consume it more. And boy, am I hooked now. Yeah, that tournament was magical, absolutely magical. Matildas did something that no other sporting team in this country has been able to do. The Socceroos did it as well in Qatar, but there was something special about the Matildas. I think because of how good we are and how good of a team, like, I mean, when you look at the starting 11 and you look at some of the players and you look at some of the teams that are representing that starting 11, you've got Arnold in goal playing at West Ham. You've got fullbacks of Carpenter and Catley who are at Lyon and Arsenal. You've got a centre-back partnership that represents Man City in Alana Kennedy, and I can't remember where Claire Hunt plays. That's very bad from me. She did move, I think. Anyway, then you have the Kai Cooney-Cross got to move to Arsenal. You've got Ford at Arsenal, Razzo at Madrid, Fowler at City. You've got Kerr at Chelsea. You've got guns across the park, right? Just superstar footballers across the park. And that's something we haven't never seen an Australian team be represented by these world-class clubs. Like Sam Kerr is one of, if not the best footballer on the planet. Like that goal, I think I tweeted out. I told you this episode is just going to be me rambling. Just absolutely rambling. No structure at all to this episode. But I remember tweeting, obviously, when that goal against England, I was very, very drunk at a pub, at the Imperial pub. At the Imperial Hotel in the city with good friends of mine, and when she scored that goal, it was like a moment I've never felt before. Like, yeah, that moment when she picks up the ball on the halfway line, takes it forward 15 yards and just fucking whacks it, and past Marios, who's one of the best goalkeepers in the world, if not the best goalkeeper in the world, and just rifled at top corner. Like, the feeling from that goal, I'm very ironically wearing a granted it's a 3 to men's England national team top, but an England national team top nonetheless. That feeling when she scored that goal is just something I've never felt before. It was it was very similar to the Leckie goal against Denmark last year. A little bit different because it was just a different feeling. Very similar in terms of the overall excitement, but just a little bit of a different feeling. And I tweeted it at the time. I will get the exact tweet up because I don't want to misquote myself. I really don't want to misquote myself. But it goes something along the lines of, here we go. So at 9:23 on the 16th of August 2023, about a couple of minutes after Sam Kerr scored that goal, I say she's the best footballer on the planet. Spelt planet wrong, but I don't think people care. She's the best footballer on the planet, and then I replied to myself and said, "Man or woman, I don't give a fuck. No one else on the planet does that." And you know what? I stand by my claim. I don't think there is another footballer on the planet that does that in that moment. Like, that is fucked. Like, one of the highlights of the year from a footballing perspective for me. Like, man or woman, I don't give a fuck. No one else on the planet does that. No one else does. Like, Mbappe doesn't do that. I can tell you right now, Mbappe does not do that. There's no way. Ronaldo might, probably maybe 10 years ago, he probably definitely would have. I don't know about now. Messi probably doesn't do that. in that World Cup semi-final, 1-0 down, backs against the wall, after being injured for all of the tournament, essentially, coming on when you're the great white hope of the nation, the best player the nation has ever seen, to come on and do that in your home tournament, at your home stadium, like, fuck, not home stadium because she's from Perth, but like home tournament, like thousands, tens of thousands of Aussies screaming you on, like, it is fucked out of this world. So yeah, definitely that was probably definitely the highlight of the footballing calendar for me this year. Just one of I can't get over it. I'm still speaking about it now. Probably found the words for it now a little bit more than what I did at the moment because I feel like I'm still a little bit shell shocked when I recorded the episode post that goal or post that game. But just one of the best moments, definitely the best moment of the year for me. Worst moment, I feel like to take a look at the best, you have to look at the worst. Worst moment for me, I was going to say the Christmas derby of last year, but I guess that wasn't really. The Christmas derby of last year wasn't really this year, so I can't really say that. Yeah, so I won't say that. However, what I will say is, as someone, what's going on here? Encoding overload. Why has that happened now? All right, we fixed it. Worst moment of the year. I reckon let's go. Definitely a Chelsea result. I think it would have to be a Chelsea result, or a victory result. I don't know. Just I think the A-League this year, the first half of the A-League of the year for the A-League, I think is just overall the worst moment because disenfranchised, no one going up to no one watching the games, no real excitement, nothing going on. Not good at all. So that's probably the worst moment of the year, just from a holistic perspective. So yeah. Other than that, I feel like it was a pretty good year, 2023. Pretty boring. We didn't really have like a stand. I thought it was like an objectively okay year. We didn't really have any standout kind of players. I mean, Jude's kind of announced himself in the latter part of the year. Obviously, Messi and Ronaldo have taken the backseat role now. Now it's time for the new generation. And Mbappe just kind of steadied along. Bellingham's probably the guy now to be the face of football. He's kind of taken that mantle on, especially in the back half of the year when he moved to Madrid. And some of the things that he's doing right now is just fucked. Like, I don't even know what it's got. It's 12 goals, I think, so far this season. It'd be something like that. As I quickly check, I don't actually know off by heart, but it is 13 goals in 16 games, 2 assists, playing as this like false 9, number 10, shadow striker, just insane. Mbappe just ticked along, Haaland has just ticked along. There's been no real standout footballer, which I don't know, it's a bit of a shame, but I think it will come. Next year's probably the year where one of those three probably takes the absolute mantle. You've seen the rise of, obviously, the Super League came back. We spoke about that a little bit last week. Just a bunch of different things. But I think overall, the year of football was okay. I think it was fine. For a personal perspective, what was the highlight? I think the highlight, I spoke about, highlight of the year from a fan was definitely the Matildas, and speaking about it as well as probably the Matildas Go tournament and the Women's World Cup as well. Did a lot for Australian football. Speaking of Australian football, we got the National Second Division, which has been announced, which is terrific. That's finally been finalised and announced this year, which is awesome. As in, they're announced to happen in the coming years, which is terrific. So yeah, that's just a little bit of a year in review. Obviously a lot of personal stuff with the podcast and stuff, which is developed, which is awesome. So yeah, I think that's all for the retrospective look at it. Looking at it from the future, 2024, what can we look at? What can we look to enjoy? I'm not going to give predictions because I feel like I did that last year and I don't want to do it again. I don't know, just don't feel like doing it. Don't feel like doing proper predictions. Obviously, from an Australian perspective, the Asian Cup is happening very soon. The squad announced, which I spoke about last week. Australia definitely have a chance of winning that. In my honest opinion, I think we definitely have the ability to go far in that tournament. The squad is definitely not at full strength. You have some big outs, in my opinion. Two of our better midfielders, Hrustic and Robertson, not in the squad. Obviously, Hrustic hasn't really played a lot and has been injured as well, so he's kind of taken a big backseat role. But I mean, if you take a look at this time last year, we were really desperately missing him in that World Cup because we could have used that creativity from the central midfield, and obviously he was so crucial and integral in qualifying for the World Cup in the middle of last year. So the fact that he's taken a backseat role it speaks a lot about the development of the Australian midfielders so far this year. But I also think it does show that, we do need him because we do lack that creativity midfield. McGree's taken a step up. Backers has taken a step up. Even like Irvine has been performing at an extremely good level. Metcalf as well. We'll be interested to see how Eden O'Neill goes in the squad. Patrick Yazbek as well. See how he goes. But yeah, no Robertson, no Hrustic, no Sakadi, no Qual or Irankunda, no Taggart, no McLaren. So a couple of both staples of the Socceroos squad over the last couple of years. Matt Leckie obviously through injury. The couple of staples of the Socceroos squad over the last couple of years have not made it. A couple of young guns which you all thought were going to make it haven't made it. So it's a very, very fresh Australian squad, which would be very interesting to see. I definitely think we have the ability to go very far in that tournament. Definitely think that we could go very far. Can we win it? I definitely think we can. I would say we're probably the fourth strongest team. I still rate Japan and South Korea just a little bit above us, and I think we have the ability to edge out one of Iran or Saudi Arabia. I think you're looking at Iran as a team that we could probably get a little bit better of. But those four teams are probably... there's a clear five. There's a clear five in Asia as well. It's Japan, South Korea, Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Australia. Then you've got the rung below. I don't know about whether or not these teams are qualified, but then you've got the rung below, like the UAE are always difficult to beat, especially away from home. Iraq are always difficult to beat, especially away from home. And you've got like Oman away from home are difficult. China always pose a little bit of a threat. So there's those type of teams that could potentially prove to be banana skins. Uzbekistan as well. Australia struggled to get to beat Uzbekistan in the last Asian Cup. And then you've got the likes of Jordan as well, who when you do play away from home are very difficult to beat. Going to the Middle East and winning is very, very difficult. So it'll be interesting to see how Australia cope to the Qatar conditions. Obviously, they were the best performing Asian team in the World Cup, right? Yeah, the best performing Asian team in the World Cup, losing to the eventual finalists and going equally as far to the eventual winners and going equally as far as every other Asian team in the competition. Obviously, Saudi Arabia didn't get through the group, but they did shock the world, beating Argentina. Iran didn't get through the group, but they beat Wales, which is good for them. And then obviously Japan got through the group at the behest of Germany, I think it was. And then what did South Korea do? They got through the group as well in the final group with Uruguay. Yeah, Uruguay and Ghana both got knocked out, which is pretty cool considering the history behind those two teams, which is very funny. Portugal and South Korea got through, if I do recall correctly. I'm digressing. I'm doing a very reminiscent job of the 2022 World Cup. And as you could probably tell, I do have a lot of knowledge about that tournament because I watched every single game, basically, and ruined my sleep schedule. But, no, here's what it is. So, yeah, I think the Socceroos can definitely go far in the Asian Cup. The Olympics, should the Matildas do what they need to do against Uzbekistan over the two legs in February, shouldn't really be an issue, especially the home leg. If the Matildas can come out, win the home leg comfortably, I don't see any dramas. Just get the job done, girls, please, because you definitely have a chance of getting gold at the Olympics. And fuck, that would be massive. That would be massive for football if they could get gold. So fingers crossed that they can definitely qualify and definitely go far in the Olympics. Obviously, last time out they finished 4th. They lost in the bronze medal match to the US. They lost to Sweden in the semi-final, if I do recall correctly. They beat Team JB in the quarters. 4-3. Mary Fowler scored. If I'm recalling correctly. I may be recalling wrong, because that was 2021, so that was 3 years ago. Fucking hell, 3 years ago. There you go. So yeah, there's that. Looking at else from other Australian perspectives, obviously the A-League. This season will come to a close in April, May. Who's going to win it? I genuinely think the Victory Boys are within a big shot of winning it, genuinely. Yeah, I don't know why, but there's a different feeling about this Victory team. I spoke about it a little bit. Was it last week or the week before when I spoke about the Victory win against Sydney? There's just something different. Like, there is something different about this Victory team. North Terrace back pumping, love it so much. You've got North Terrace pumping. You've got the football on the pitch. When it's good, it's really good. It's really good. Zinedine Marchan is one of He's one of my favourite footballers probably ever. I don't know why. It's just we've been so blessed as Victory supporters. Like, we've had so many ballers play for our club. You've got like, my mind springs straight to someone like Leroy George, who left in unceremonious fashions, of course, calling it a pussy league, I think he called it. But that season he was exceptional. Ola Toivonen was one of the best players I've ever seen put on a Mel Victory shirt. Carlos Hernandez, you got Honda for that half a season where he was buzzing, he was unreal. Even Aussie players like Jacob Brimmer, I think he's horrendously underrated. Jake Brimmer is so good, so sound at football. So he's been a pleasure to watch. Zizou, just a pleasure. Arzani, pleasure to watch, even though it's been like 10 games. Just a lot to like about Victory. I do think we can get it done, genuinely. Wellington look good. Wellington do look good. If I was to bring up the ladder, they're obviously top. They have lost the game. Victory are the only undefeated team so far in the 9 games. Wellington look good. I think City just won 8-1 yesterday, which is fucked. 8-1. They look very good. The centerpiece of that is Toglai Arslan, who is... he's fucking good. He is fucking good. Arslan is good. Like, I don't know how many score involvements or goal involvements he had yesterday. He scored 1 and assisted 2. He's good. He's really good, and it's really annoying because he came from... Is he on loan? I think he might be on loan. He's not on loan. He came from a free from Udinese. Who's on loan? Saki's on loan, isn't he? Yeah, Saki's on loan from France. Yeah. But yeah, they've done well. They've done well. I think MacArthur are like okay. I think MacArthur are okay in regards to the rest of the A-League. I don't know what they'll be able to do in finals. I think in the regular season they should make finals though. I think Brisbane are going to have a little bit of a kind of a downhill ski, if that's even a phrase. I just think... I mean, that's fucked. Imagine having like one of the better coaches you've had in recent memory playing some good football. Like, even like before he left. Like, they had lost their last 2 before he left, but even still, they'd won 3 of their last 4 beforehand. They had some pretty comprehensive wins. Like, they beat Adelaide away from home 2-0, which is a pretty good result. They beat Sydney 2-0, or the 3-0 at home, which is a good result. Like, they've had some pretty good results. But like having a coach leave to take an assistant manager role halfway through the season is pretty stiff. So I think they're gonna go downhill. And like, not their fault by any means, but I just think he was kind of masking a lot of... Like, Ross Aloisi was doing very well with the resources that he had. I don't think any other coaches are going to be doing that anytime soon. I think if I had to guess, I would say the top 6 at the end of the season for the A-League will be... I'll back Victory to finish top. Fuck it. I'll back Victory to finish top. Why not? I think Victory will finish top because fuck it. I think City will finish second. I think it'll be Wellington, Western Sydney, Wellington to be 3rd and 4th. 5th will be... I think Adelaide are going to have a pretty good second half of the year, and I think MacArthur will sneak in just. So I think, as things stand... Although Sydney could kind of come back from the depths, maybe. As things stand, I also think Perth have been like not bad. They can score bulk, but they just can't stop scoring. They can't stop conceding, which is a bit of a shame. I think the only change to the top 6 in terms of teams will be Brisbane out, Adelaide in, but the kind of order will mix and change. I think the grand final will be Melbourne City versus Melbourne Victory. I really want that to be the grand final. I'm packed and play it at Amy. Don't play it at Marvel. Play it at Amy. Definitely play it at Amy. Have Amy packed out and have the loudest, best atmosphere for a grand final they're ever going to have. And Victory win that 3-0. Arzani brace for an early 90th minute winner and shushes the City fans. Fuck, that'd be good, wouldn't it? Fuck, that'd be good. Now that I've said that, City are going to beat Victory 7-0 in the next derby, which is what, in Feb? 17th of Feb. So there you go. What else? I think for Australian football, that's pretty much it. Looking at it from the European football, I think City will... Liverpool win the Premier League, I think. I think Liverpool win the Premier League. They are top of the league at the new year, which is good for them. They're 2 points clear, having got that very important draw against Arsenal. Declan Rice, what a player! That's for those on Twitter and even on TikTok as well. You'll understand what I mean by that. Football Twitter and TikTok is unbeaten. And also shout out to Sean Mills. Sean Mills, I think that's his name. For those who haven't seen, Sean Mills is a Australian. He's actually from Melbourne, I'm pretty sure. Is he from Melbourne? I think he might be. He's an Australian singer who went on The Voice, which is, I think everyone knows what The Voice is. Sean Mills is an Australian singer that went on The Voice. Sean Mills, unfortunately, has Hunter syndrome, which is a condition that affects all parts of his body. And football Twitter, being the pricks that they are, decided to take a clip of him doing TikTok promotion for his song, which is actually a pretty good song, in all fairness, and basically posted that, ironically, whenever Rasmus Højlund fucked up or didn't score. Obviously, Rasmus Højlund has went on a 16 game. Oh no, it was a 16 game. 16 game or whatever it was. Goalless streak in the Premier League. Hadn't scored in about 16 Premier League games, and he finally scored. It can't be 16 Premier League games. That seems a bit fucked, but I feel like it might be. Yeah, 14 Premier League games. That's what it was. And people were posting that comparison, saying Rasmus Højlund, whatever, making fun of both Højlund and Sean Mills. And Sean Mills clocked on, started taking it on board, started playing along with the joke, and then eventually he did score. Højlund, of course, on the weekend, and football Twitter is like really promoted this guy inadvertently, even though they did make fun of him and they did rip the shit out of Sean Mills, unfortunately. But he's actually a very talented person and has taken along with the joke very well, so good on him. But yeah, that's also a very funny situation for those who know and understand that. I probably didn't explain it too well, but there you go, for those who understand the situation, you guys do. So yeah, which is good fun. I lost completely the train of thought that I was going on. The Premier League, Liverpool, yeah, they're going to win the league. Their 1-1 draw against Arsenal was pretty good for them. Obviously, United come from behind win against Villa. Højlund scoring their first win in four games. First win in 4 games, and the win the fifth game in that was the 2-1 win against Chelsea. Good football club I support. Great football club I support. Fucking piece of shit. We did win. We did beat Palace, which is great. Love that. Love that for us, but. Unfortunately, no. That's 1 win in 8, and we lost to Wolves on Christmas Day. Imagine staying up on Christmas Eve till midnight, right? Normally, Christmas Eve, you want to get into bed early because you've got a big day tomorrow, a big day of eating and socialising and drinking and whatever. So you want to get to bed nice and early, wake up at about 9, and then start your festivities. I had to stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning because my football club do not know what the fuck they're doing. I had to watch my football club lose to Wolves away from home, which was just the best thing in the world. That was, just haven't won away from home. Have not won away from home since Spurs. So realistically, haven't won a proper game away from home since we beat Burnley 4-1 in October, which is just terrific. Awesome stuff. So yeah, that's great. That's good for Chelsea. They did win though on the weekend, which was good. Villa are actually pretty good, which I don't think they could definitely finish top 4. I just think they'll win the Conference League as well. Who have they got in the next round? Or do they have that? They don't have their fixture because the Europa League drops down in the next round. Yeah. I think Villa will win the Conference League. Just quietly, Europa League. I think Liverpool will probably win the Europa League as well. So they can do a B-Tech treble. If they win the League Cup, Premier League and Europa League, that's the B-Tech of all B-Tech. Trebles. Champions League, I think Real Madrid win the Champions League. I think Bellingham's going to take them far. They got Leipzig in the next round. I think they can win that. And I definitely think Real Madrid can win the Champions League. That'll be big for Bellingham in terms of his kind of status. That'll be huge for him. So there you go. That is just my Champions League prediction, Europa League, Conference League, Prem. I'm not too clued up. I hope Leverkusen can win the Bundesliga because that'll be good for football. I don't actually know what the table is looking like. Bundesliga, it is looking like they're 4 points clear, but by another game in hand. So there you go. La Liga, what is Girona doing? Are they going to win it? Are they actually going to win it? They are equal on points with Real Madrid, so that'll be very interesting. Serie A. Are Juventus good again? I feel like Juventus are good again, aren't they? Yeah, they're like second. They're 4 points behind Inter. Maybe Inter can win that. That'll be interesting. And then the last league is the French league. And shock horror that PSG, yeah, 5 points clear. Shock horror. There we go. Okay. Is that all for today's episode? Yeah, spoke about a couple of results that have happened. Spoke about my predictions, reactions. Yeah, I feel like that's all to speak on. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to stop it. 35 minutes. Short and sweet. Thank you very much all for... there you go. That's not good. I've stuffed up big time there. So basically what I've done is I did this a couple of episodes ago where on my scenes, on my OBS, I haven't unclicked the outro screen and the music for the outro scene. So I'm going to quickly pause, do that, and come back. Alright, I'm back. That's fixed. We won't have that issue when I actually go to properly outro it. It's not like it's very much like the Two Foot Attacker podcast to end the year on a technical difficulty. There we go. Oh well, taking your stride and you brace it. Thank you all very much for watching another episode of the Two Foot Attacker podcast. Thank you all very much for the support across the year. It has meant more than the world. We will be back not next week, the week after. I'll give myself a week off as the football does, and then we'll be back fully into the swing of things every week. Fully up to date, recording on the Monday, Tuesday 5 p.m. release, and we'll be back speaking about the football as always. So yes, thank you all very much for watching as always. Thank you very much for the support. It does mean more than the world. Stay well, stay safe. Enjoy your New Year's. Stay safe as well. It's a very high energy time, and yeah, thank you all. Thank you. I can't thank you all enough. Yeah, stay well, stay safe. See you guys in a fortnight, and go the Vark, go the Chelsea, go the Chelsea, can't the Chelsea, up the Chelsea. And what else? Anything else? That's all. Oh yeah, Asian Cup. I don't know what I'm going to do for the Asian Cup. I will tweet about what I'm going to do for the Asian Cup. So follow the Twitter, 2 for Attack Podcast, or 2FTPod on Twitter, for my schedule for the Asian Cup. That's actually a good reminder. There you go. All right, thank you all very much for watching. See you guys in a fortnight. Ciao. Goodbye.